Hello everyone, welcome back. How are you doing? We're on TSW4 and we are on the new Long Island Railroad commuter route. So this is Long Island Railroad version 2, which releases today. We did the first look yesterday in early access on the PC. So I thought today, now that the PS5 version is available, we'd take a look at it on console and we'll just see how it runs on there. So I picked out a service in the M9. This is train 2812. And it is the Atlantic Terminal to Far Rockaway service. So we're actually going from Atlantic Terminal to Valley Stream. So Valley Stream is on one of the new parts of the route that has come in with this version 2. So shall we get it set up? And let's go through the procedure. If you want to know properly how to set up the M9, by the way, there is a little video that I've put on the feed yesterday, which will show you in a bit more relaxed manner how to get that all set up. But it's not difficult once you've done it a couple of times. Let's put it in neutral, and as you can see, all the rewards are popping up because this is the first time that I'm using it on the PS5. Let's unlock the doors. The brakes are charged up. Let's make sure we've got our headlights on bright. Marker lights we can turn off. What about our gauge lights? Let's have those up, shall we? I think that's all we need to do. Apart from, we need to set up our trains. Let's come down to this screen. We are train 2812. So, 281. Did that do that? 281, yeah it did, it's at the top. Sometimes never know on the controller. It can be a little bit fiddly to get the cursor in the right place for things like this, but it looks like it's done. So we'll let that have a think about what it wants to do. We've got to wait until 7:40. It's just loading up the screens now, as you can see. So let's have a quick look outside. Everybody's getting off at Atlantic Terminal. So yesterday, hopefully you all saw the first look on PC. I did review that afterwards, actually. You know, when we got to the end. Oh, there we go. So that's where we're going. Far Rockaway. I did review it at the end, where my M9 went flying off the points. And on reflection, I wasn't on the points, looking outside the train. But when I look back at the map view, let's just get the doors locked. When I look back at the map view, I could have actually been in the area that was covered by the points, so if I change the points and I'm on the points, then it's going to make me derail. So there's a quick debrief from yesterday. So I don't know if you guys got that far in the video, but if you did, that's my summing up of it. So let's hope we have better luck today with this one. Okay, safety systems are on by default. Don't forget, that is one thing to remember, and would help, wouldn't it, if I put it in forwards. There we go. Now we do have a red light at the end of the platform, so we can't go all the way. Why is that not going? Have I not charged the brakes? Let me charge the brakes again, just to make sure. Put it in max. Ah, there you go. Why did I not? I don't understand that. I did put that in max brake. I'll have to review that again, but I'm sure I put that in max brake. You need to put it in max brake to be able to charge those up, and then it'll move. So let's try again now. We have got a yellow as well at the end of the platform, so we're all right. Okay, there we go. That's what we wanted. Oh dear me! It is actually early in the morning. But I hope you're all looking forward to release. By the time this comes out, it will have released on consoles. So I think consoles is 10 AM UK time, with PC being a little bit later. Usually in the afternoon. I don't know the exact release time, but usually in the afternoon. One thing I did notice as well, another update from yesterday. So remember on the PC I told you that I don't have the M3 installed on the PC, but I do on the PS5. So on launching this morning, I did notice, as well as there being some services for the M3, there are also some scenarios for the M3. So there's additional scenarios which I didn't know about. So that's interesting. So if you're picking up the route and you don't have the M3, consider getting the M3 as well, because the M3 will add quite a bit to this. It's also a lot different to drive as well, because it's an older unit. It's not as all singing and dancing as this one. It's not as flashy. This is the new one, of course, and my DualSense controller is telling me I've got a yellow light coming up next. I quite like that on the DualSense for the PS5. It tells you what your next signal is going to be. Well, it says yellow, but I can see a green up there in the top right in the minimum HUD, so I'm not really sure. Right, it's very slow out of Atlantic Terminal. We can only do up to 5 miles per hour. So as I was saying yesterday, the trick with the safety systems, always follow the lowest speed that it's giving you, which at the moment is 5 miles per hour. We do have a 45 coming up, as you can see, up in the top right, but we'll need to have the back of the train clear that. That's the alerter. So Jamaica is our first stop, and you'll have been, if you were on the first Long Island Railroad, you'll have been where we are now, Atlantic Terminal. You'll have been to Jamaica, so that part of the route again will be quite familiar to you. But then after that is where it gets a little bit different. So these tunnels look good, though. These do look good. Right, the DualSense is telling me I've got a green light next, which is correct. So hopefully we get to pick up speed soon. .7 miles to Jamaica. Let's just make sure we maintain the 5 miles per hour, being as we have to go slow anyway. At least it's flat. The ground is flat. There's nothing worse than having to keep at a very low speed and deal with an up or downhill. Becomes a little bit tricky. Lots of fine adjustments. We will get there, honestly. Thank you for all the feedback on the first look yesterday. I'm glad that that video was useful, and gives you a little bit more of a look at it, doesn't it, before you decide whether you're picking it up on the Tuesday. I think the early access for the ambassadors is a good idea. It helps us to have a look at the route for when we are streaming it early, but it also helps you to see it somewhere else other than on the Dovetail official stream. So some of you guys have given me some good feedback on that, which is quite nice. So we will keep doing those in the future. Right, we can speed up to 15. We will eventually get out of this tunnel, I promise. As I said yesterday, there's a lot going on in the cab with the safety systems on. You've got to really keep your wits about you. But what that does is that provides a more immersive drive for me. So it's quite good. I said yesterday, I do like to nip out of the cab occasionally and have a good look at the scenery. You'll find you do that a little bit less though with this route. But it's all good. It's all good stuff. Right, still 15 at the moment, but the speed is increasing. Anytime, once the back of the train clears. There we go, so we can get up to 45 now. And the end of the tunnel is in sight as well, which is good. So yeah, yesterday we were on the PC, today we're on the PS5 because I wanted to show you what it was like on the console. The PS5 of course runs like the PC, so you know there's nothing really to worry about. Just keep an eye on these speeds. We do have a 30 as well, just outside the tunnel. In fact, we have a 30 right now, it's asking us to do that, so put it in brake, and then just acknowledge that, and you'll be fine. So, as you can see there, even if you don't anticipate the speed using the HUD in the top right hand corner, as we do on other routes, or if if you've not learned the route to know where the speed changes are, you can follow what the train is actually telling you. You won't get in any trouble. You keep your eye on what it's telling you. If it wants you to go to 30, it will give you several seconds. I was saying, I was speculating yesterday up to 30 seconds, but actually one of our viewers, Ratty, one of our regulars, did tell me that you get 7 seconds to get down to the speed that it's asking you to. So once you hear the alarm, get the brakes on, acknowledge the warning, and just do what it's telling you in the cab. You'll be absolutely fine. We still need to stay at 30 just for now, but I'm going to take a look outside. That's a great shot, that, isn't it? Shall we take that as a shot? Why not? Let's take one. Let's go into the photo mode. I want to get the skyline on in the back. You can see the buildings in the background. Let's just get the field of view like that. Should we put a bit of rotation in? I could even use this as a thumbnail, you know. Let's just do that. I think that looks pretty good. Right, so if I hide the overlay, take the screenshot and upload it, I think we'll use that as a thumbnail. Perfect. Right, let's get back to it. It is useful, that photo mode. It's useful for people like me that create videos, because you can get some really nice screenshots that you can use. Right, up to 45 we go. You can hear the motors ramping up. We're due in 8 minutes to Jamaica. Still got 7 miles to go though. Right, we're at the 45, so let's just throttle it back. Lots of you yesterday also commented to me after the first look that in anticipation of this you've gone back and played the original Long Island Railroad. Some of you have not been on it for some time and actually said that you quite enjoyed it, so that's good. It was always a really good route. There was always plenty to do, especially when the M3 came along as well, which was it was of course an additional paid DLC. Didn't come with it, but it was a very good DLC. I think this has just enhanced it. You can see how much more brighter it is with the new skies, etc. in TSW4 as well. it looks a lot better. There's a lot more detail in it, and there's extra track. So I think a lot of you were quite interested in this one. So hopefully it does well. We're about to dive into another tunnel here, so just need to watch that 45. Hoping we get to speed up soon. I think just after this station. Yeah, we got 60 just after the station. That cab rattle, don't know if you can hear the cab rattle on the YouTube. That's quite nice. It's quite a nice effect, that, isn't it? The creaking in the cab. It sounds good coming through the headset when you're playing it. I did notice as well that back on the PS5, so all the early access stuff, as I mentioned, is done on the PC. But I don't really play TSW on the PC. I use that just for the early access, pretty much, because early access isn't available on consoles, unfortunately, for the ambassadors. There is some early access, limited early access on Xbox, but I don't have Xbox. I only have a PS5. So I did notice just today I'm nearly at rank 600, level 600 on the PS5 in TSW4. So that's not bad going, is it? I always wonder though. You guys just let me know in the comments below what level you're at. Level doesn't really matter. It's more a gauge of how much you play it, isn't it? The level. But I am always interested to know whether you guys that watch the videos, are you just casual players of TSW, or is there certain routes you like, and basically what level you get to. I've spent quite a number of hours in it to get to nearly rank 600. I think the original TSW on the PS4 that I got up to something like level 800 and something. I know there's a few of you got a little bit further than that, but you must be absolutely hammering it. You must have no life, because to get to that level, I felt like I had no life. But at the same time, I tell you what, that time flies. If you're enjoying it, time flies, doesn't it? This is a game I can always dive into and quite enjoy it. And I look up and I don't know where the time has gone. Especially if you're on the US freight routes, because they take quite a while, don't they, to get end to end generally. There's some there with a couple of hours, easy. I'm speeding now, so let's get that off. We'll just acknowledge it. Need to be at 70. So you see there, that's what I was saying earlier, if you do get into a difficult situation with the speed, it's quite easy to recover it and get back to where you need to be. Shall we take another quick look at the map? We got Jamaica coming up. That's our current destination. Yesterday we went down to Long Beach, which is here. This is all the new section. I think today we're actually coming down this spur here. We got New York Penn over this side, Hicksville up there, and if I just flick it back, I think this is the Hempstead branch down here, which was all in the original one. So I don't think we're going to arrive at Jamaica on time. We've got 2.5 minutes pretty much to get there, and we got just over 2.5 miles. Let's see how we do. We might be slightly late. And that's the other thing not to worry about as well, because you're forced to use the safety systems. If you don't normally use them, then don't worry about being late at stations. You know me, I don't normally bother about timings. I'm late that often, I don't have time to worry about the time. That said, I'd driven 100 miles in the M9. That must be wrong because this is my first run in the M9. I'd say that has popped after 10 miles, not 100. So that's slightly wrong. So there you are, I got 100 miles bonus quite early then, so I got more points to go towards my level 600. Right, how we doing? 1.6 miles. We might just be slightly late though. We're gonna have a slow approach into Jamaica as we always do though. We're not gonna go hurtling in at 70. So it's going to get us to reduce. So once again, I'm not anticipating it. I'm going to wait until it tells me. So there you go, 45. So let's put the brakes on and we'll just acknowledge it. Let's get down to, it's actually 40. It wants us to be down at 40, you can see. So once again, the lowest speed it is displaying is 40. Did it emergency brake me? I think it emergency braked. So what we need to do, I'll show you this now, is if you put this into max brake and neutral, then the brakes should recover. That's the theory. Let's just see what happens. Is it doing it? Let's just see what happens. Nope. Maybe because we had... let's just put it in neutral. Put it in max brake. Maybe because we had an emergency, it takes a few seconds just to charge it back up. I'm not entirely sure. Let's just see. Just whilst we're waiting, let's have a look outside as we emerge from the tunnel. I'm not quite sure how I got the emergency brake, to be honest. Maybe I wasn't paying full attention. Right, shall we have a look what it's doing? In fact, you know what? Let's put it forwards. I don't think these brakes have charged up. Let's put the power in. What's it telling me over here? Emergency brakes is lit. So let's put it. Ah, there we go. So that's really weird. So I did the right procedure. So what? If you saw what I did, I put it in max brake using this method by actually clicking the control. Then what I did was, the second time I did max brake, I did it with the controller. So I did this. I'm doing this with the controller buttons. And that has charged the brake up. So now, if I put it back into... well, it's in forwards now. So if I accelerate now... how strange. I don't quite understand that. I'll take another look at that offline. Just in case that's a little bit of a bug. So, putting it in max brake with the controls in the cab didn't charge the brakes, but doing it with the controller did. Okay. That's a bit weird. I will pass that on to Dovetail and get them to have a quick look at that. See if that's user error or if that is actually an error with the M9. Not to worry, we're underway. Right, we can do up to 40, but we're going to get reduced any time now. There we go. So down to 15 we go. There we go. So we got Jamaica dead ahead. Of course, because of that stop, now we've no hope of staying on time. We're 800 yards away from Jamaica. Interestingly, yesterday on the PC, it was showing my distance to various stations in a number of feet. It is showing me the usual yards up at the top this time, so I must just not have the same setting on the PC. You'll recall I was saying that I would need to get used to looking at distances in feet. I'm used to looking at it in yards, but it must just be down to the fact that I haven't got the correct setting on the PC. So I'll sort that out. That's easy enough. I thought I got it set to auto, so it will give me whatever the particular route is setting measurement wise. I'll check that though. Okay, this is Jamaica. Jamaica's a little bit more detailed than it was. Some of the buildings definitely have been improved or added to. The other thing I haven't done is give you some horn. There we go. For you horn fans. Right, we can come in up to 15, so I'm going to do that. I'm glad we got that emergency brake sorted. I knew I was using the right procedure. I just couldn't understand why it wasn't working. Oh, that can be frustrating, can't it? Right, let's just coast into Jamaica. We'll make a stop, get everybody on board, and we'll be on our way. In fact, how many stops have we got? We got Jamaica, Locust Manor, Rosedale, Valley Stream, and I stopped actually a little bit too soon. So let's just... How did I put that in neutral? There we go. That was when I was showing you the timetable. I must have clicked the D-pad, took it into neutral. Okay, not to worry. We're on our way again. Let's just move up the platform just a little bit, and then we can let everybody on board. The game is much brighter with this lighting. I always thought that the original Long Island Railroad had a kind of it always had a kind of washed out sort of tinge to it, if you will, which seems to have been resolved in this TSW4 version. Let's get everybody on board, shall we? And get anybody off that wants to get off. It's a pretty full house, isn't it, this one? Let's get the doors locked. Right, off to Locust Manor. We can do 15 coming out of Jamaica. And we're already fashionably late. I wonder how on time these trains are in real life. There's so much traffic going up and down. Do they all manage to stay on time? I don't know. Maybe some of you locals can let me know that. We've got 1.9, 2.5 downhill, so keep an eye on the speed on this section. Just put a minimum brake in, I think. So I haven't tried the M7 yet in this version of Long Island Railroad, which has been improved as well over the original M7. It's slightly different. So M9 being the completely brand new unit, I've used that on the PC and today on the PS5, sort of exclusively so far. But I'm looking forward to getting to all of them, including the M3 as I said right at the beginning. Still need to stay at 15. And now we can move up to 30. Sounds great, that. And all the way up to 80. 60 now. It's constantly changing depending what's going on outside. So it will tell you different things, you know, if there's traffic in front of you or anything like that, you'll need to keep a close eye on what it's telling you in the cab. So 60 is our limit at the moment. So I was saying yesterday, 80 is the top speed on this line. This unit can run up to 100 miles per hour, the M9. So if you do decide to run it anywhere else on any other track, through off the rails or anything like that, then you can run it up to 100. You can probably actually get it faster than 100 downhill, but officially 100 is its ceiling limit. 1.5 miles to Locust Manor. That's got to be one of the contenders for the best named station in TSW. Locust Manor. You can imagine a lot of insects living in a big house, can't you? Right, we can get up to 80, but we've only got a mile to go. But we'll get up a little bit because we'll try and make a bit of our time up. Well, we're 6 minutes behind. I don't know how we lost 6 minutes. Right, let's get the brakes on. Oh, the other thing, I need to turn off this stop marker colouring as well in the platform. Let me just do that now, because once you've done a tutorial, it always comes up like that, doesn't it? And we say this every time. It's a pity it switches it back on, so that's the stop marker. So the colour in there in the track should have gone now, which it has. So this is Locust Manor. So if I quickly just flick up the map, this is where we are. For some reason the target is still on there, so I think we're coming down to here. Let's lock the doors. There is, you heard the guard buzzing. You can actually buzz there as well if you want to buzz back, which you should if you're doing it correctly, of course. Right, 0.8 of a mile to the next station, which is just here. And cleared up to 60 straight out of Locust Manor. Laurelton is next. I made sure for today, by the way, you haven't seen the fog yet. That's because I took off the dynamic weather. I did always say, and I sort of joked yesterday, that if I leave it on dynamic weather, I bet we get the fog, the famous dynamic weather fog. And we did indeed. And the fog stayed around for quite a while, didn't it? So I decided to do it without today, and I'm coming in very, very hot. Let's see what we can do without shaking everybody about. Not too bad. It has got very good braking. You know I always like to test the braking and tell you guys what it's like. The braking on this is very good. So this is Laurelton. It's not very busy, this service, is it? Not down this branch it isn't. Not today anyway. Right, we'll close the doors. And then we're on to Rosedale, which is just under a mile. So let's check what speed. We can get up to 60. So again, safety systems, you know, they're not too daunting. Don't worry about it. I said it quite a lot yesterday. The more you play it, you know, you'll pick it up. Just take the lowest speed that you can see. Do the 25-minute tutorial that Dovetail have provided, and just try it, and just watch other people play it as well, and see how they react to the signal changes. Within a couple of runs, if you're not used to it, you'll pick it up. And if you do get an emergency brake, you know how to get out with that as well. I just need to check why it wasn't letting me move the handle to max brake to clear that, and I had to use the controller, which was a bit strange, but I mean that's a minor thing. The main aim of today is to not derail like I did yesterday. It's a very violent derailing as well, wasn't it? It threw me right across several tracks. We kind of did get to Long Beach, but not in the way I intended. I didn't intend to fly in. But here we are at Rosedale. Oh, look at that. We just managed to get that door in. There it is. Just nobody turn right when you get out of there. Nobody's getting off, look. Everybody wants to go the distance. Right, Valley Stream, this is our final stop. So yeah, yesterday we carried on down to Long Beach, which is down here. But we didn't do a stopping service yesterday. Right, let's get it up to 60. And then that will be the end of the stream. So I hope you guys are looking forward to picking this up. Let me know how you find it. Don't forget to let me know what level you are in the game. I'm quite interested in that, because obviously I don't get to see any of the statistics. I'd like to. I'd like to know what the most popular routes are, you know, from a statistics sort of perspective. But I don't think that doesn't often get shared with us, does it? That information. More is the pity. It'd be quite interesting to know what's the least used route as well. I don't know. What do you think the least used route is? I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to say Oakville. What do you reckon? I could be completely wrong. It could be something we don't expect. But I'm interested in stuff like that, because I bet they can keep track of how many hours people are playing the different routes and who's playing what at what time. Not down to an individual person's name, of course, but just general statistics. They can see how many hours per day or week or whatever it is that a certain route's been played. I'd love to know all that stuff. But I think, you know, I'm going to predict that this one, if you do get your hands on it, you do fancy picking this up. I think you'll be playing this for quite some time. I think it's going to be quite a popular one. There's so many different ways you can go, isn't there, in the map? When you look at that, it's not just one straight end-to-end route. There's different branches you can take, different services going different ways. It's got a lot going for it. I like DLCs that have little branch lines that you go off to. Those are my favourite ones. Right, we need to be down at 15 for this approach. So we did all right today. Nice little pleasurable service there. Quite enjoyed that. And thanks everybody for coming in. As always. Thank you to our subscribers. If you're not subscribed, please click that button. That will help me out massively. We've got lots of Trade Sim World. Lots of other stuff coming up as well on the channel. And do leave me a like. And we'll come to a stop. We'll let everybody off. We'll get our points. And we'll get out of here. And enjoy the DLC. There we go. Thanks for coming in, everybody. All the best. And I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.